Review the verdict forms, and they do appear to be accurately or at least completely filled out. Mr. Edwards, you could please stand. The verdict forms in this case, count one. Verdict reads, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled and sworn, do find the defendant, Tirrell Edwards, not guilty of aggravated murder in violation of 2903.01a of the Ohio Revised Code as charged in count one of the indictment. It is signed in ink by all 12 jurors, and the specifications are not completed. Count two, the verdict reads, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled and sworn, do find the defendant, Tirrell Edwards, guilty of murder in violation of Revised Code Section 2903.02a of the Ohio Revised Code as charged in count two of the indictment. It is signed in ink by all 12 jurors. Pursuant to their directions, the firearm specification. All right. First firearm specification, which reads, we, the jury in this case, having found the defendant guilty of murder, further find and specify that the defendant, Tirrell Edwards, did have a firearm on or about his person or under his control while committing the offense of murder as charged in count two of the indictment. It is signed in ink by all 12 jurors. Firearm specification 2 reads, we, the jury in this case, having found defendant guilty of murder, further find and specify that the defendant, Tirrell Edwards, did have a firearm on or about his person or under his control while committing the offense and displayed the firearm, brandished the firearm, indicated he possessed the firearm or used it to facilitate the offense of murder. It's charged in count two of the indictment. It is filled out in ink by all 12 jurors. Verdict form for count three, charge of murder. We, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled and sworn, do find the defendant, Tirrell Edwards, guilty of murder in violation of Revised Code Section 2903.02b of the Ohio Revised Code as charged in count three of the indictment. It is filled out in ink by all 12 jurors. Furthermore, both of the firearm specifications indicate that he did have a firearm on or about his person or under his control. Verdict form for count four, felonious assault, reads, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled and sworn, do find the defendant, Tirrell Edwards, guilty of felonious assault in violation of Section 2903.11a1 of the Revised Code as charged in count four of the indictment. It is completed in ink by all 12 jurors, or signed in ink by all 12 jurors. Their further findings is that he did have a firearm on or about his person or under his control in both of the specifications, which is also completed in ink. Count five, charge of felonious assault. We, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled and sworn, do find defendant Tirrell Edwards guilty of felonious assault in violation of Section 2903.11a2 of the Revised Code as charged in count five of the indictment. It is accurately signed by all 12 jurors in ink, as well as both of the firearm specifications are found that he did have a firearm. Those are signed as well in ink. Finally, count six, the verdict form reads, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled and sworn, do find defendant Tirrell Edwards guilty of domestic violence in violation of Section 2919.25a of the Revised Code as charged in count six indictment. It is signed in ink by all 12 jurors. Anything else on behalf of the state of Ohio?
No, Judge, thank you.
Anything else on behalf of the defense?
I just asked that you pull the jury in.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do is just point to each one of you and ask if those verdicts are your individual verdicts. So, sir, are these verdicts your individual verdicts?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am, are these verdicts your individual verdicts? Ma'am, are these verdicts your individual verdicts? Sir, are these verdicts your individual verdicts?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am, are these verdicts your individual verdicts?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, are these verdicts your individual verdicts?
Yes, Your Honor.
And sir, are these verdicts your individual verdicts?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am, are these verdicts your individual verdicts?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am, are these verdicts your individual verdicts?
Yes.
And ma'am, are these verdicts your individual verdicts?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, are these verdicts your individual verdicts?
Yes, Your Honor.
And ma'am, are these verdicts your individual verdicts?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to ask you if you would just retire back in your jury room for a few minutes. I'll be back to join you. I do truly want to thank you on behalf of the entire community. These cases are important for everyone involved, and we definitely appreciate your efforts. All rise to the jury.